Welcome to Tailgate Topics and Tips. I'm Spencer McDonald. There's a lot of talk these days about distracted driving, and for good reason. Do you know that distracted driving is a factor in between 20 and 30% of all crashes? And did you also know that you are 23 times more likely to be involved in a crash if you're texting while driving? So what actually is distracted driving? Distracted driving is driving when the driver's attention is diverted away from the primary task of controlling the vehicle and watching out for hazards and managing traffic concerns. These distractions reduce the driver's situational awareness. This results in collisions or near collisions and other, perhaps, evasive actions that shouldn't be necessary. There are many distractions that can take us away from the driving task. The most obvious is cell phones and handheld personal devices, but can also include eating, or pets, or children, or controlling audio devices mounted in the car. We can also be distracted by things outside of the car like billboards or pedestrians. We can be distracted by other drivers. And how many of us have seen people actually performing personal grooming activities like shaving or putting on makeup while driving? Now that's distraction. The biggest distraction, though, are mobile devices. In most jurisdictions, mobile device use is prohibited. Cell phone use in a handheld mode is completely prohibited and illegal, and in many jurisdictions now, hands-free cell phone use is also prohibited because using your handheld cell phone can be dangerous, but using your hands-free device can be just as distracting because the distraction is principally cognitive or distracting you from the thinking part of driving. What's the law in your jurisdiction? You know, many of us say that we can multitask, but really it's impossible. It's just simply humanly impossible to multitask. What we end up really doing is switching quickly back and forth between the two tasks. And so it is physiologically impossible for you to properly manage driving and also attend to a communication device, handheld or hands-free. It just can't be done. You know, at Thinking Driver we say it's all about attitude. Well, it's all about attitude when it comes to preventing distracted driving. When we adopt an attitude of acceptance that we really can't drive safely and use a cell phone or other handheld device or communication device hands-free while we drive, we adopt an attitude that brings us to a more safe level of driving. Once we've accepted the fact that we can't multitask when we drive, it becomes much easier to put down the smartphone or other handheld electronic device while we're driving. But you know, this can be challenging for any of us. And so some strategies to help you remain compliant with this are to turn the cell phone off or put it on silent before you even begin to drive. Put it in the glove box or even leave it in the trunk. That way you can't be tempted. Who hasn't been tempted when they hear the alert tone of an incoming text or email or hear the phone ring? There is that compulsion to want to pick it up. So just simply turn it off or silence the ringer while you're driving. Change your message to let the caller know that you're either unavailable or driving. That's the responsible thing to do. Don't cheat and fool yourself that checking your texts or your messages while you're at red lights or stop signs really isn't distracting. When your attention moves away from that intersection and goes down into your cell phone, you're distracted and you're not prepared when the light goes green or you're ready to move off through that intersection. Just leave the device alone. If you're frequently distracted by eating in the vehicle, take a break when you're driving and not go through the drive-thru and buy fast food. Go in and take a break, sit down and have your lunch there. Avoid distraction of trying to juggle food while you're trying to steer the car. Give yourself a little extra time in the morning to get ready so you're not tempted to put on makeup or shave or even eat breakfast while you're trying to drive. Those extra few moments at home are going to make you so much safer when you're out on the road. And when you're driving, focus on the driving task. There are many things to pull your attention away from driving on the sidewalks or billboards or in store shop windows. Focus on the driving task so you can be ready if you need to be to avoid a potential problem. Those are just a few suggestions on ways you can combat distracted driving and help keep yourself compliant. Can you guys think of any other potential ways to do this? What are you doing to help come into compliance with the distracted driving laws in your jurisdiction and keep yourself safe? So here's your practical challenge for this time. If you don't already know what the distracted driving law is in your jurisdiction, find that out now and make sure you at least know the law. Your second challenge is to go to 100% compliance. If you're not already there, commit to 100% compliance at least for a week. Let's do a detox from the cell phone, the smartphone, and the other handheld electronic devices. You know, we seemed to get along just fine before they showed up, and driving was a lot safer. So give yourself a detox and commit to 1 week of 100% compliance. I assure you that once you adopt strategies to do this compliance challenge, you'll find that it's much easier to continue after the week is done. Distracted driving kills thousands on the road every year. Do your part to keep us all safe. You know, it's all about attitude. I'm Spencer McDonald. Thanks for watching.